Eugene.
Hi, Jerry. Hi, how are you today?
Good.
Oh, okay, great. We are doing this phone interview. To be honest, I'm no Larry King, neither am I Oprah Winfrey, so I'm pretty nervous here actually myself. Believe it or not, I have downed actually 3 glasses of brandy just to be brave enough to give you this call. So,
Good. You should have told me. I'd probably give a better interview if I had 3 glasses of brandy as well.
I'm gonna be a bit selfish here. I'm gonna push the buck to you. So we're gonna start off by talking about yourself. I understand that your line of work, you're based in Kuala Lumpur, and you travel every weekend to Singapore just for football. Is that correct?
Well, that was the case for the majority of this year.
Oh.
My job is actually based in Singapore, but for the last 7-8 months, I had been traveling up and down to KL on a weekly basis for a specific project for my company, and then coming back to Singapore just at weekends. But luckily, since the beginning of November, I'm now back based permanently in Singapore.
Oh, that's more convenient for you, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a lot better. It was getting very exhausting flying up to KL on a Monday and coming back on a Friday, and then playing football on the Saturday morning.
Oh, so you book a flight to KL and back to Singapore?
Yeah, every Monday flight to. I was flying up to KL every Monday and coming back on a Friday.
Well, is it just solely for football?
Coming back at the weekends was pretty much, yeah. Otherwise, I probably would have stayed in KL.
Oh gosh, wow.
Because I was seconded by my company. My company is based in Singapore, but they sent me up to work in the KL office for about 7-8 months. So during that time, I was based in KL from Monday to Friday, and just coming home at the weekends. So coming back to Singapore at the weekends.
Oh, it must have cost you quite a lot to travel up and down by plane.
Luckily, all of the expenses were being covered by my company. So it was living in the hotel was a little bit impersonal as well.
Oh.
I was staying in the same hotel for 9 months or 8 months.
Oh gosh, wow. Oh, also, anyway, you are currently the manager of Singapore Gaelic Lions Football Club.
Well, yeah. Chairperson of the club more than manager. We're currently managerless, unfortunately. So we take turns in managing the team on a game by game basis. So if you have any potential managers, we're considering taking on Sam Allardyce.
Sam Allardyce.
He's just become available.
That's a good one. Maybe we should send him an email.
Yeah. If he wants to come and manage the Gaelic Lions, yeah, we haven't had a permanent team manager this year.
All right.
So I'm basically like chairman of the club. So I help run all aspects of the club. Really, apart from the actual match day managing.
Yeah.
But over the past couple of months, we've had to share the burden of managing. So some of the more senior players who get involved in managing the team. So, but we're actually looking for a full-time manager.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because the job of trying to chair the club and run the club is not as a business, but trying to run the club and all the administration, and also then running the actual match day responsibilities can be quite tough, and we prefer to have a dedicated manager, and then I could just then look after the administration part of the club.
Right. It can get pretty tough running the whole club. With regards to the football club itself, other than taking out a big fat cane and whipping the boys, those who doesn't perform, what else do you do?
In terms of from an administration viewpoint,
yeah.
We have to look after the financing the club is probably the most important aspect. We need to have enough participation and from players and money in the bank to be able to pay for our costs, to cover the costs. So sponsorship is one of the main areas. for new sponsors. We're lucky enough to have 3 very good sponsors for the last year and a half who've supported us. Magners, which is an Irish drinks brand imported by a company called Six Drunk Men.
Yeah.
So Six Drunk Men have been supporting us financially for the last year and a half. So we carry their Magners brand logo on the front of our shirts. And then we've also been sponsored by Mulligan's Irish Pub in Clark Key and a financial advisor company called Portfolio Builders. So finding the sponsors and getting the money together to finance the club is quite important. Then the other aspects of running the club includes obviously liaising with the league organisers for games and for administrative purposes, and organising the tours. The social aspect of the club is very important. So we have overseas tours, we have golf tournaments, we organise social evenings. But some of these responsibilities, then we have annual awards nights. And we have Christmas parties and all these kind of social elements of the club. But luckily, we can, I can delegate some of those responsibilities to other members of the club as well. So I'm not doing all of this by myself.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah.
We've got a committee in place, basically. Some of the more senior players who've been around for a while and who have been here since the club was founded in 2008, and we distribute the tasks amongst these guys. So we have we have an accounts guy, Glenn. We have a match day finance guy who collects up all of the subs from the players, Keith Morrison, and who also organises some of the social events. So we try and spread the responsibilities throughout different members of the club.
Right. You were saying that the Gaelic Lions Football Club was founded in 2008.
Yeah.
So you're pretty new then?
Yeah, that's correct. The club was originally the idea of a chap called Alan Power. Alan was a very active sporting member of the Irish community in Singapore. Alan was a frequent player on a number of different clubs in Singapore. He played with Orchard Rovers and he played with Hibs, and he was involved with HSBC Lions. But he was also involved with the Irish Gaelic Football Club, the Singapore Gaelic Lions Gaelic Football Club. And then he decided that he wanted to set up a soccer club. So with Alan, together with 2 of his friends, Gary O'Callaghan and Andrew Conley, the 3 of them decided to set up the club. So in 2008, the club was founded. We entered the ESPN League. Unfortunately, just before we played our first game in the ESPN Saturday League, Alan actually passed away in a tragic accident.
Yeah, I heard about
in Singapore.
Did he pass away on a pitch? Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, he unfortunately, I think it shows a little bit of the perils of one getting older and playing sport in a climate such as Singapore. Alan actually had a heart attack whilst playing Gaelic football in Singapore back in 2008. So Gary O'Callaghan and Andrew Conley continued the running of the club. So we were able to field a ragtag team of players on our first game in September 2008 when we played in the ESPN Saturday League.
Right. Oh, may his soul rest in peace. This Alan Powers, you have this memorial match for him every year, annually.
Correct. Yeah. In June of every year, we organise the Alan Power Memorial Games. And the Memorial Games is a full day of activities where we have like a 6-a-side knockout soccer tournament.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I think it was 9-a-side. We have a mini soccer tournament, and we also have a Gaelic football tournament.
Oh, okay, Gaelic football tournament as well.
Yeah, so we bring together basically 2 of Alan's favourite sports, Gaelic football and soccer, and we have a mixed men and ladies tournament as well. Where we mix the players up, so we've got some of the girls who play football and some of the guys who don't usually play Gaelic football will play as well. So it's very inclusive. So we have the tournament during the day at Dempsey, and then we finish off the evening with doing what Alan also preferred doing, which was drinking and having fun and enjoying himself in the pubs of Singapore. Usually in Muddy Murphy's. So Muddy Murphy's are another one of the sponsors of this event, and it's been very, very well received event, and it's something that we will continue to do in the future with invitationals, teams coming in from different parts of Singapore to participate.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Moving on to your match on last Saturday, 18 December at Japanese Association of Singapore.
Yeah.
Against JSSL Arsenal. We have, to be honest, we have seen it before. We have seen it again last Saturday. There were numerous chances, amazingly, on my count. Within the first 27 minutes, 4 headers, 2 shots, all inside the 6-yard box, but you missed the goal. You went above the crossbar. Is this a concern? You guys have been leading the table all along. You know, you've been scoring a lot of goals, but it does seem that your striking department may have a bit of problem.
I think specifically referring to the game on Saturday, we had a number of players who were missing, who'd already left for the Christmas holidays.
Right.
But I mean that's no excuse for the chances we missed. I think our strikers are just either a little bit off form, or may have been a little bit complacent.
Right. But they do know that we are playing football and not Gaelic football here, right?
Yeah. I think luckily or unluckily, I'm not sure. Neither of our strikers on Saturday were, in the first half at least, were Irish. So they were taking the Gaelic football a little bit too literally in terms of putting the ball over the bar. Our South African and American strike force weren't hitting the target as we expected.
Yeah.
And it took one of our Irish players to show them the route to goal. When we finally did score in the second half, it was one of our Irish players who actually showed them how to score. We spent the afternoon in Mulligan's, drawing very easy pictures for our strike force to show them what the goal looks like, and showing them what the net looks like and how they should be hitting it rather than putting it over. The objective was to get it inside the posts and under the crossbar, not the other side. So after a few bottles of Magners, they seem to have got the message.
So we will be expecting them to be scoring more goals under the crossbar this time, right?
Yeah. I think come January we've sent them off for Christmas holidays with an exercise routine, and we're expecting them to be perfecting their striking skills come January when we start the league again.